Hello, my name is Munir Abdulhadi and I'm currently doing my fieldwork at Squire Society. Squire Society is a non-profit organization that works with people with disabilities to help them overcome their barriers through the use of technology. Squire aims for a world full of inclusivity, which affords people with disabilities the exact same opportunities as everyone else. Their mission is to use technology, knowledge, and passion to empower Canadians with disabilities. I have always been interested in the implementation of technological supports in the lives of people with disabilities and how it can alleviate their barriers. For that reason, I chose to do my fieldwork at Squire Society, in particular, their Assistive Technology Department. For my special project, I completed a support program for a client known as a 540 support program. A 540 is a program at Squire Society that we offer to clients that require a purchase of substantial supports to help them overcome their barriers. I chose this project because the 540 is the most comprehensive support system available at Squire Society, and I knew that doing it would develop my client relations, research, and problem-solving skills. I had the privilege of completing a 540 for a client that was referred to us through his occupational therapist. This client had complex needs and disabilities that affected his back, hands, and wrists. The client was employed and required supports from us at Squire Society to allow him to work more efficiently and with less pain and discomfort at his workplace. I began my discourse with the client through a detailed assessment where I got the opportunity to learn more about his disabilities, the barriers he experiences, his vocational background, and any experience he may have had with assistive technology and ergonomics in the past. After the assessment, I researched some supports that I believe the client would benefit from and forwarded to the client via email. After much back and forth on email as to whether he liked the supports or not, what he didn't like, what he would prefer over others, we were able to solidify 4 supports out of the 5. We did have a roadblock, however, where the client wasn't able to decide on what ergonomic keyboard he wanted to use unless he was able to physically try and test them out. Obviously, being as though we're living through a pandemic, Squire Society doesn't currently accept clients into the building, nor do I ever work in the office. After discussing it with my supervisor, I was able to facilitate a time for the client to come and meet me in the office and test out some of the keyboard trials that we have available. The client had a chance to test out a few keyboard options. He was able to finalize his decision on which keyboard worked best for him. Upon that, I was able to tally up the total for all the client's supports and submit a financial request to my manager for approval. Once it was approved, I was able to order in all the supports for the client and have it delivered to him safely and within 2 weeks. This project worked out exactly the way I expected, and I knew so after receiving an email from the client where he stated how much he loved the supports and how much they've helped him work more efficiently and with less barriers at his workplace. If I were to do anything differently, I would set up more phone calls and Zoom meetings with the clients rather than discussing a lot over email, because it would have expedited the process and the communication would have been a lot easier. The most valuable aspect I learned from this project is a concept that every client knows themselves best. I learned that ultimately I am just a medium for the client to receive the best possible results, and giving the clients more autonomy will allow us to deliver that.